So I'm going to be your interview today. So I want you to go ahead and please introduce yourself. So this is how we are going to start.
Okay, very good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Pratik Srivastava, and I am pursuing my engineering from MS Ramaiah Institute of Technology in electrical branch. I completed my 10th from Mangal Seminary College with 68.2%, and I completed my 12th from MS College. And my hobbies are playing cricket. Uh, that's all, ma'am, I think.
Okay. So this is not how you introduce yourself. So when the interviewer asks you to introduce yourself, there's a format that you have to follow. So first you talk about your name. You say, my name is Pratik Srivastava. After that, we are only going to cover all the relevant and important knowledge that the interviewer has to get. For example, you're going to talk about your name, then you're going to talk about the college, and if you think your CGPA is good enough, that is something you will be able to include. So first comes your name, then comes your knowledge, and CGPA is in addition. If you want to talk about it, you can go ahead and talk about it. If you're not comfortable talking about it, if you think it's lower than the expected cutoff, then you can skip talking about it. Then you go ahead and talk about the relevant information that is going to help you get this job. For example, you talk about the skills that you have, you talk about why you want to join the company in like a sentence or two, and you can also show your enthusiasm by telling that you're really excited to give the interview to join the company. So it has to be short, crisp, and relevant. So, for example, if I were to ask you to introduce yourself again, this is how I would do it. Hi, my name is Ume Bashra. I have graduated from Bangalore Institute of Technology with a CGPA of 9.4. My current skills are C++, Java, Python, SQL, and a couple of BI tools with AWS and cloud computing. I'm really excited to give this interview because I am looking forward to join the company. So this is how short and crisp you are supposed to keep your introduction.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Because this is my first mock interview, and I'm little bit nervous. So that is the reason I had prepared well, but I am forgetting many things. So yeah,
Okay, Pratham. We all make mistakes. So now let's move to the second question. So, like we talked, it's important to talk about your skills so the interviewer knows what skills are relevant and he asks you questions on basis of that. So now, I see there's a project on your resume. Could you talk a little bit about that? What is this project
yes,
about?
yes, ma'am. So the project is a very good project which we have done. So it is uh, I mean, it will help the farmers a lot. So we have a mobile device. With that, if we message, then we can start this irrigation pump, which is in the field, and sitting at home, you can do it. So it is a very helpful project for the farmers.
Right. So in this case, what you're trying to do is you're only talking a little bit about the project, about what it is going to do. But that's not relevant because a lot of students have worked on the same project. So what you really have to do is talk about what the project is, what problem it solves. For example, you said how it's solving the problem for the farmers, right? So so it's very important, firstly, Pratik, to make an eye contact while you're talking to the interviewer because that shows how interested you are in the interview, right?
Okay, ma'am.
That's a point to be noted. But otherwise, when we talk about the project, I want you to know that first we talk about what problem the project solves, right? For example, now this is helping out the farmers. So you talk about that, then you go ahead and talk about what technologies you've used in order to build this project. Then you talk about end to end, how you have built this project. And then if you want, you can still go ahead and by yourself, you can add all the problems you've overcome, or what extra features you've added, and how your project is different from 100 other projects that students have worked on, right? So there has to be
True,
an X
true, ma'am.
factor. So that is something that you can work on. However, there's one more thing that I would like to highlight. When you're talking about a project, follow the format and stick to that. And if the interviewer, usually what happens is the interviewer does ask a lot of questions on your project, what problems you face, how you've overcome, and all of that. So get ready with all of them. So be
Okay,
prepared
ma'am.
for all the questions that the interviewer asks on the project.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for your feedback.
No
I
problem.
will. I'll.
So,
I'll make sure. Yeah.
yeah. So the next question is, let me ask you some technical questions now. What is method overloading and method overriding? What's the difference between the two? You said you are really proficient with Java, so go
Yes,
ahead.
ma'am. My technical skills are Java. Ma'am, overloading happens when you keep the same method name but change the number or parameter. Overriding, I think it is same method name and signature. It is something like that, ma'am. So,
Okay.
uh,
So when you are answering technical questions, there are two things that you can do. One, you're confident with your answer, so go ahead and keep it short, probably like a sentence or two. Two, you do not know the answer. So you are being polite here and telling the interviewer that you're not aware of it. However, you will come back and you will revise these topics because you have to show the enthusiasm and the willingness to learn something, right? So
true, ma'am.
if you had to talk about it, then you would say method overloading is something that allows multiple methods in the same class, but it allows you different to have different parameters. But in method overriding, what happens is there's only one subclass where you can perform all the implementation, right? And it's also defined as a superclass. So this is what you would say. Whatever the relevant information that you know about it, just put it in one sentence or two and
Okay.
just talk about it.
Do we also need to give some real life example of it? Like they
Yeah,
might, if
that's a great idea, Pratik. If you want to go ahead and give a real life example, that's brilliant because that makes you stand out.
okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me ask you another question. What about a constructor? Do you know what a constructor is?
Yes, ma'am. A constructor in Java is a special type of method that is used to initialize the objects. So the
Brilliant. I think this time you've performed really well. You told me crisp, you kept the answer crisp, and you told me what it does. Right? So this is what we expect from the technical questions.
thank
So,
you.
Pratik, tell me about your strengths and weaknesses.
So my strength is I'm a quick learner, and my weakness is I'm a little bit emotional. So
Okay.
that's
So,
all.
although in your case you told me what strengths and weaknesses are, there's a better approach to it to impress the interviewer. When you talk about your strengths, you can directly tell them what your strengths are. For example, my strengths are that I'm a keen observer, and my strengths are that I learn quickly and I grasp things. This is something positive that you're talking about, so you don't have to back that up. But when you talk about your weakness, it's important to back it up. For example, you can say, my weakness is I observe things too much, right? But
Mhm.
now you back it up saying that, but this has helped me out a lot because there's never a detail that I miss, especially when I'm working, right? You could talk about that. So you could talk about your positive thing as a weakness and try to show how you're good at it. Or you could talk about how you are always so busy working like you're trying to finish tasks. That is one of your weaknesses. You want to finish everything on time. You don't want to miss deadlines and all of that. And then you can also talk about you're getting better at it because now you also prioritize your well-being along with getting the work done. So whenever you talk about your weakness, it is also important to back it up with something positive so the interviewer knows that you're working on it. So that's a very
Okay.
good approach.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, Pratik. I think I'm sure both of us have gotten a lot to learn because I was able to teach you and you were able to like learn a few new things. So now, do you have any questions for me, Pratik?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how was my interview, and for which role I will get selected in TCS, ma'am?
Uh, so now the let me answer your question first, right? I think the interview was good. The feedback, I would say, is pretty positive. You are a learner. However, when the interviewer asks you if you have any questions, you have to keep three things in mind. One, it's always important to ask the interviewer a question. Second is ask relevant questions, like the feedback. I think the feedback was a great question. However, talking about the other things like role and all of that, which is not for the interviewer to decide, right? So this becomes a little irrelevant. So the second question, ask about feedback, is great. Third point is ask questions that are relevant. For example, how's the work culture in the team? For example, what technologies would you be working on if you join the team? Right? All of these relevant questions, these show how enthusiastic you are about joining the team, right?
Okay.
So these three things is you always have to keep in mind every time the interviewer asks you to ask any questions.
Okay. The last things from you, ma'am. So, how can I, because this was my first interview, so mock interview, so I'm very much nervous, and also I forgot many things which even I was knowing. So, how can I improve myself? Do I need to give more mock interview so that these things I can overcome?
100%. I think it's a very good practice to constantly keep giving in mock interviews because this way you will learn more. A lot of times we've noticed that the interviewers ask you questions, same questions are repeated. Go ahead and just get done with it, right? And when you give the mock interviews, you also become more confident because now you know you've given it multiple times, right? You're not nervous anymore. This is something that you do usually. So I think it's a very good practice to keep giving mock interviews. It's also a very good practice to like even joining the meeting and just being a part of it because when somebody else is giving the mock interviews and you are like there just watching somebody else go through it, that also builds your confidence and you are also able to cover a lot of questions. So I think giving mock interviews is always a great choice.
Okay, ma'am. So today you have a mock interview at 8 p.m.
Yes.
For everyone who is facing a problem like me, so this TCS interview material is really very good, and we have covered a lot of data here, like technical interview questions, interview live classes, which is already going on, mock interview sessions, which previous mock sessions also we have kept it, and then subject-wise interview preparation. This is a sorted one, and then Python videos, Java, TCS interview. So whatever questions has been asked by from the students in 2024, uh, and this year as well. So we have captured all these interview questions here, so that it's very rare that the questions will be coming from outside. So this is one which has given a lot of results. Like last year, this year also we wanted to have more and more results. So get it as soon as possible. And today evening, Busra ma'am will be having a mock interview with you all. So as part of Common Life mock, we are already having multiple mock interview classes per day. So don't take it very lightly. Otherwise, we will be only regretting after the interview, because this is where we have the chances to utilize this opportunity and correct our the way we are answering, because this will definitely give us a negative impression on the interviewer. So the link will be in description. So get it and start your mock interview and your interview preparation from today. So yeah, thanks a lot, Usha ma'am, for this wonderful session, which will help many people.
So much. Thank you.